Notts County Talk, we are back for our first preview on the knockout stage games for England. Hopefully we've got a few more to go. Now, before we introduce lovely lad Jordan, I'm going to have to say, I don't like to do this because I'm not your biggest fan, George, but I'm going to have to give you a bit of praise here. 2-3 weeks ago, you sat on this very channel and said, your dark horse of the tournament was Czech Republic. And what's just happened?
Just beat Netherlands, haven't they, 2-0? Well, the last time I checked it was, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, they won 2-0.
And I think we didn't make them look... when we played them, they didn't look nothing special, did they? I mean, they had a couple of chances. You know, the player that I said, Souček, he had a couple of shots, didn't he? Quite unlucky, really, I think, not to score against England. But, yeah, I mean, they've been quality, really. You know, another side as well that were quite good. I watched last night, Austria. They really put it on Italy in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
Good side. I'm wearing homage to them.
Yeah, that wasn't purposeful. I was genuinely saying Austria were really good. Really unfortunate to lose, and they scored an offside goal in the second half. It was disappointing.
Whose shirt are you wearing, Jordan? Who's that? What team is that?
It's just it's grey, so I can just pretend I support any team whenever I want. I just say it turns different colour when I watch that match.
Lovely, lad.
Oh, you got some smart ideas there. You should put that on Dragons Den. Right, we'll go on to the
neutral, grey, neutral.
You're not neutral. Come on.
So we haven't spoke since you briefly said it.
I meant for all the other games.
No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So we played Czech Republic. Well, I'm getting all mixed up with these. When did we play Czech Republic? What was the date? It was a week on Tuesday. Tuesday night, wasn't it? So we played them. Obviously, we won that 1-0 Sterling. And all of a sudden, it didn't look a very good result, did it? And then suddenly, the result that's just happened, because even with 11 against 11, Czech Republic created far more chances against Holland than they did, or Netherlands than they did against England. So when you look at it, across 3 games, England have barely conceded a chance.
Yeah, it's very positive, I think, when you look at it like that. I mean, I've criticised him. I'll openly admit it. We've not opened ourselves up to be like penetrated, essentially. Like we've closed up shop. I think it's these games have been good practice, I think, for getting that in. So we've trained that way. We've trained that. You know, we've had 3 games now where, you know, the squad have come together and they've played the game that Southgate wants them to play, and now we're going into a very important game now against Germany. And it's going to be a true test. And I think if you look at the game, the teams this side of the our side of the tournament now, I feel like if we beat Germany, we have to get to the final. I'm not undermining anyone or underestimating what teams can bring, but the way we've been playing and you know, we've not conceded, we've got to have that good track now, haven't we, to the final? I feel. I'm not getting ahead of myself though. It's going to be a tough game on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's always the same, isn't it, Jordan? You say you can't look too far ahead, but in reality, the squad won't be looking too far ahead, but the fans, in reality, it's an unbelievable run if we can get past Germany, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I am a bit more positive after watching that game with Czech Republic, because I was thinking, we're not really creating much and we look boring, but actually we limited Czech Republic loads more than Netherlands did. I know obviously we know Netherlands are a bit more open, but it could actually prove that the way Southgate has his playing might actually be the key to winning more games rather than the way Netherlands play. Because a lot of people probably have gone, we want to play like that. We want to play attacking, fast football, creative, and it's shown today that actually it doesn't win your games. Because even before Netherlands got the man sent off, before De Ligt got sent off, I still think Czech Republic made quite a few decent chances. So a lot more positive going forward about England's chances now.
Yeah, I believe in things evening themselves out. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Southgate missing the penalty against Germany. Things like that in my head, he's going to want to put that right. I just think that's a big chance. I think England are in the better side of the draw. Germany haven't looked great. I mean, we talk about England being good defensively. They conceded 2 to Hungary. They conceded 2 to Portugal. Conceded to France. I mean, we haven't conceded it. We've kept 3 clean sheets. They haven't kept 1, if I'm right. Their team's very good, but it's not what it used to be. It's definitely not what it used to be. A lot of people are saying as well, we want to get them back for the Lampard goal over the line. It's just all building up. I'm feeling so much more positive than I did a few weeks ago.
And it's crazy. Like, even after that Czech Republic game, I was feeling like, that second half was the most paint drying football I've ever seen in my life. It was so boring, and I just thought, there's no way we're going to get to the final of a tournament playing like this. And then a few days go by, a few games get played in the last round of 16, and all of a sudden you're thinking, Southgate's sort of seen it coming, hasn't he? But don't get me wrong, I still sort of think some of the football we're playing isn't fantastic.
Yeah, it helped me get an early night on Tuesday. It was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, send me right to sleep.
Yeah, it's not entertaining to watch as a fan, but I think he's just worried about getting the job done. I think tournament football is not there to play entertaining football. It's there to win games. I think in his head, that's what he's bothered about, and he thinks the best way to do that is setting up the way we are playing. So, fair play to them. It's not like you can watch Arsenal play and know if you lose a game, they still play it. They're still great entertaining football. They've still got 20 more games to play this season. It's if you play entertaining football but you lose, you're out. So I think that's where it comes from. And I think as a fan, everyone's annoyed because you want to watch nice football. Everyone sits down to watch football to be entertained and have exciting plays and things like that. So I think it's just frustration at that. But actually, if we won, and we saw in World Cup, if you win, it all gets forgotten about, really. Yeah,
I'm on the flip side of saying Germany haven't kept a clean sheet. They have scored 3 times the number of goals of England. They've got 6 goals, 4 in one match against Portugal. I know they were helped with 2 of those were own goals. And they have scored the other 2 against Hungary. But I'm just looking at the side they put out against Hungary. Obviously, some world-class players in there stand out. Neuer he's class, isn't he? Other names that stand out there is Kroos, good, but at the same time, he is Asian, but I have seen the stat that he is by far out the player with the highest number of passes in the whole tournament. He's something like 60 ahead of the second place player. They've got Gundogan in centre mid, and then Havertz really are the big names. They've got players like Sane and Gnabry who can hurt us, but for me, something that's good for England is they've got Hummels at centre back, and he can definitely be got at. If Grealish gets around him, he'll be turning like a cart horse. Like how old is Hummels now? I mean, he's a very good defender. Don't get me wrong. He's still playing. He's younger than I thought. He's 32, but he's not the most.
He's 35.
He's 32 apparently, but he's not the most mobile player at all. He's just not. And I think get Grealish and Foden around him, and we're laughing.
The thing is as well, because this is like one of those games in it. Like there's so many history lessons to be with this game. Like obviously the Southgate penalty miss, the Lampard goal that you said earlier, Tom, as well. Like I remember where I was when that happened and how gutted you was. Like it was literally like a yard over the line. With a game like that, it's always a fierce game, innit? So it's going to be one of them where I think tackles will probably be flying in all over the place. This is a game for Jack Grealish, I think. Yeah,
you're 100% right. I mean, if literally anyone knows how to win a free kick, it's him. And he was saying, wasn't he? 99% of people are calling him on the match day in the Premier League, saying he dives, goes down easily. But everyone's on his side this time. Whether he does go down easily, it literally doesn't matter. I could see him winning. I could see him winning penalties or free kicks. I mean, their back line last time was Hummels, Rudiger, who he's
a liability.
Yeah,
liability.
He's our like Mings. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
He's not as. It's just not a solid player, is he? And if you were put it into a Premier League context of Man City against Chelsea, and you said Foden was up against Rudiger, Foden would have him all game. I'd even back Grealish to have him. And if you think, I know he's off form, but Harry Kane would have Rudiger in a battle as well, I think.
Yeah.
And then the last centre back is Ginter. He did go off. I don't think it was an injury, but the Mönchengladbach centre back. Now he's okay. He's not fantastic. So I think we've got him.
He is. I think a lot of people rate him. So if he's not playing, I think that's positive for us.
Do you rate him?
Or me or Jordan?
Jordan just says highly rated.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What can you tell us about him?
I think he's probably. I just think he's a good player, mate. I just know he's like obviously he's made the German national team, so he must be highly rated. But
Yeah, no,
I mean, I think he's a solid performer for them. And he's one of he's a bit younger than the others as well, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Like
24, something like that.
So if he's not playing and you've got Hummels will probably would have relied on him to help with more pacier players. So, but it does all depend on what Southgate decides to do. I think in terms of, like you said, getting at Hummels, how much we can do that depends on the selection, I think.
And then the attacking three they went with last time was Havertz, good player, isn't he? He is a good player. Sane, what are you laughing at? And Gnabry.
Highly rated.
Highly rated. Tony Pulis doesn't rate Gnabry, does he? But there we go.
Yeah, it's a mad story, that, isn't it?
But Sane, he's gone right off.
I don't think Havertz played that well in the first.
Yeah, but he's got a winning goal in the Champions League final. I think highly rated. He's highly rated. He's come with a big price tag. No, I think he is a decent player, and he played well in the game I watched against Portugal. Did play well. I think he got a goal. And then Gnabry and Sane as well. It's just pure pace, literally pure pace. So yeah, you know, it's a good team, but it's not what it used to be when they had some unbelievable players. And Thomas Muller didn't even start in that game. He's a good player, but he's getting older. Yeah, Mario Gomez used to score for fun for Germany. But yeah, there you go. Someone's pointed out that Chelsea beat Man City in the Champions League final. Yeah, because I said that Foden will beat Rudiger, but I still back it. Foden's better than Rudiger, definitely.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I think he had a good night that night.
Rudiger probably had one of the best performances in his life.
But to be fair, like in one of those things as well, like you could say it was a 50-50 tackle, but he was the one that gave the injury to De Bruyne, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was highly rated though, so it don't really matter. So they set up a back three. Now apparently England is setting up with a back. Well, the rumours England could be setting up with a back three.
Yeah, he's been implementing it in training, hasn't he? Apparently Southgate.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. England
to help tackle the pace probably because you've got more of a bit of security if you've got three at the back in terms of pace. I think.
I don't know. England haven't conceded.
Yeah,
haven't conceded. You can't switch it for me.
One central defender like kind of back a bit, and then I just think they'll go against pace.
I don't think it'll be like that.
Play Walker.
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably if we're playing 3-4-3, I think there's going to be 7 defensive players on the pitch. I don't think there'll be like an attacking midfielder in the middle of the 4.
No, when we go off the team in a minute, you can't. I know you like Phillips and Rice together, but you can't.
I know, yeah, and I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But
Phillips and Rice against Gundogan and Cruz is asking for trouble. You need energy in there. I think Bellingham would be perfect in there.
Yeah, he would, but I just think it's a big game for him to step up into. He
does
seem like one of those. Yeah, no, he does seem like one of those players that is hard to phase. But I probably would put him in. But would Southgate do that? I don't know.
I've heard a story about him when he was at Birmingham when he was 16, training with the first team at 16, and he was apparently telling the Birmingham coaches after training sessions they needed to up it because it wasn't challenging him enough. Like that he's got so much confidence. Like they retired his number after about 10 games or whatever, 20 games. He can come straight in. He honestly can.
Yeah.
I'm going to email Southgate and tell him like he can come in. He can come in.
Ring him if you want. I'll give you his number.
Yeah. He needs to come in. Other centre mid options, Mount. I'm 99% sure is still won't be available for isolating. I think. I know he's trained on his own. Maybe they come in. I'm not sure. other centre mid options. Do we really have an option there? I'm not so
I
sure.
don't think Southgate's good at dropping players though. I think if Mount's available, he starts just because of the season he has. I think Southgate will think, oh, I need to start him. I think Rice and Phillips, and I think they'll start because I think he'll be like, oh, they've played great together for the whole tournament so far. I'm just going to put them there again. Like, I think he has it is not very adventurous. It's not very risk taking. I don't think when it comes to these kind of decisions. So I think he just falls back on the more or less the easy option in his eyes in terms of its safe option. I think if he was to do something drastic like not stop Rice and Phillips together, I think he will think in his head that if it goes wrong, it looks like he's taken too big of a risk. He's not a risk taker at all when it comes to those sort of things.
Yeah, I agree. And also, he's when things aren't going well, he doesn't seem like the kind of manager that's he'll stay defensive for way too long. I think.
Yeah, he's a bit stubborn to his original tactics. I think. Isn't he?
What really wound me up this tournament is the use of Jadon Sancho. The guy's about to go to Man United for £70+ million. He's got 16 goals and something like 22 assists. 22 assists this season for Dortmund in a league that they're not the best team. It's not like he plays for a team that walks the league. He came on against Czech Republic for 7 minutes of normal time, was it? And he made a chance in 7 minutes, and that's more than some players did in the full game.
Yeah,
Sancho is a world-class player. You reckon?
Citizenship, so they can play him.
And that's another thing I've heard is
I think they all
he's played in a major tournament though.
They all love it.
Yeah, I can see why. I've seen a lot of German pundits talking about they don't understand the Sancho situation.
German media are all over it. Why isn't he playing? Because
on
form this season, on just form alone, he is in over Sterling. He is in over Rashford. He's in over Foden. He is. Foden's class. He's in over Foden just because of what he's done. And him and Grealish for me should have started, but we can't say that now because Sterling's got himself 2 goals, hasn't he? And he's won us both the games. So I understand why Sterling's starting, but Sancho, you've got to see more game time. And I think, like you were saying one of you a minute ago about being stubborn, that's it now. Yeah, Sancho ain't playing again.
Do you reckon?
I think
because he's not played him enough. He's not played him enough to know what it's like. So
yeah, 7 minutes.
Let's just say though, I mean, the majority of this team he'll have played against, so this would be a good game for him to come in for, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it would be down the side of Rudiger, and I would definitely back Sancho over Rudiger. I definitely would. Sancho's class. We've got a question then from. I'll back you against Rudiger. And you sprained your thumb on the farther side, didn't you?
You still got the cast on?
Not at the moment, but I still on. But
no, poor that is. Right, Chris has said, do you think you'll start Grealish? Notts County channel, big favourite on this channel.
Do I think you will?
This is genuinely 50-50, I think. What do you think, Jordan? We'll go with you first.
If Mount's not really available, I think there's a strong possibility. But if Mount's fit or ready to come in, after coming back from isolation, I think he plays Mount just to be safe, which is really frustrating. After what we've seen Grealish do, but it took him long enough to play him. So I think he'll stick to his safe options. I want to be proven wrong because everyone wants to see Grealish play, but I think if Mount's there, Mount plays.
George, Grealish starting. Hard to call in it. Do I think he'll start? I mean, yeah, I do. Do I think he should start 100,000,000%? I'm not sure he will start, but I think he will. Like, there's a part of me thinks he will.
But we're going to go to our lineup. Go on, we're going to go to our lineup in a minute. But I think you're going to mention the other player you think deserves a place.
No, I'm not. I was gonna sort of go to the formation that's been thrown about, the 3-4-3. If we're playing a 3-4-3 and like the wide of the four are fullbacks, I can sort of see the like left and right wing, if you will, of the three up top will probably be a little bit more narrow. So I think that'd suit Grealish a lot better as well than like an out and out winger. Could be wrong.
It needs to be more narrow because Kane's got no one around him, and he's dropping too deep. And if the wingers are too wide, there's no point because once Kane drops deep, the wingers are outside of the penalty box. So I think it's good, and I think that would suit Foden and Grealish. I think, and then you've always got the option, haven't you, to bring people wider. I do. We're going to do our team now, but I see no way in the world Sterling doesn't start. I don't see it. I think in our team we haven't got him started.
He's one of the first names on this team sheet for me, I think.
For you?
Like in Southgate's eyes, he's one of the first.
Oh, right. Yeah.
On the team sheet, sorry.
We'll go for our team then. I'll go through the goalie in defence, Jordan, and you can take the midfield. So, Jordan, just pipe up with what you think to this. So, Pickford in goal, obvious choice. I think he's been good. He's a player that's good.
Yeah, he's been class. He's been class.
Yeah.
And this is if it does do the 3-4-3. I think Mings adds that bit of pace at centre-back. Maguire and Stones. Now, he could, if he does doing this, go Walker as a centre-back to counter Gnabry and Sane. But as much as I dislike him and as much as he is a clumsy player like Rudiger, he's not put a foot wrong this tournament. He's not.
Yeah, so we did sort of go back and forth a little bit with this one. I personally would edge towards Walker. I think he plays really well, right side of the back three.
I thought he was shaky. He was shaky in the first game.
Yeah, but he was playing like right back, wasn't he? I think when he's, I think but that's the first game. I think he's sort of grown into it. Like later on, he's played better. I think.
No.
That's essentially why we've gone with Mings, isn't it? Like, like I'll agree with you. Walker wasn't great in the first game, and Mings hasn't really put a foot wrong. But yeah, I think of a back three, I'd prefer Walker. But you take the hit.
Then we go to
as well,
those three
with your centre back. So just before you move on with the centre back, you've got to think if he plays Walker, if you put Maguire on the left and Stones in the middle. Stones has still got to go to the left a bit. He's not as confident on his left, I don't think, than he is on the right. So I think Mings may get it just because he can play on the left centre-back position in the back three a bit better than, and then have Maguire in the middle and then Stones on the right still.
Yeah, Maguire has to be in the middle, doesn't he? Has to be. Midfield then, George.
So midfield, right back gone. Well, sort of like right mid back, whatever. James, I think he's quality, had a great season. And then central midfield is where we've had a bit of a question mark. Obviously, we've gone Rice. I think Rice has been solid. The question mark really has been, as you probably guessed, we kind of need an attacking option in there. I personally would say it's going to be Phillips because, like what Jordan said earlier, I think he's feeling like that midfielder pretty undroppable because of how they've played. And then like left mid, Shaw's been great, hasn't he? He's created the most chances of any player. Is it like twofold or something like that? Like he's created so many chances.
For me, the question mark in that midfield is Bellingham. I know we've already talked about that, but I would go Bellingham, and I think this is one of those games where you just say to him, just go and have the best game of your career. Like, drop him straight in against a big team. He's played against big teams in the league, hasn't he? So,
well, look how he played against City in the Champions League.
Scored a great goal. So he's backs himself. And then this three, George, three up front.
So Foden / Saka, we couldn't really decide because I think Saka was amazing, wasn't he? Obviously gets man of the match in our last game. But Foden, he's had a good season. He's probably one of our best players. But I mean, after the last game, I think the confidence Saka will have, it's really almost impossible for me to choose. Then up top, it's going to be Kane, and it's fairly obvious. And then the last player is Grealish. For me, it has to be. He's such a key player in it. Especially, like I said, against Germany, we're going to be well up for the battle, aren't they?
Yeah, we are.
Sounds a bit crazy, but I think Foden's probably most at risk of being dropped in terms of performances so far out of people you can pick, because Saka performed. I'm not saying Foden's played bad, but I think other players have performed better or created more. than Foden. I know that sounds a bit mad because Foden's probably one of our best players, but I think if you look at Saka, Sterling, Grealish, I think, and you're probably looking at Mount. I don't know where. Well, Mount probably wouldn't play in that position, but I think that's why I think Foden's probably most likely to be dropped out of them just because of the performances that the others have.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Like, I think for Southgate, especially with his attacking options more so, he's almost got the impossible task, hasn't he? Because whoever he chooses, he's going to be wrong somehow by someone, isn't it? It's really tough up top.
Yeah, all we know is there won't be Sancho starting. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, it's one of those, though, isn't it? I feel like he's one of those managers that could also start him. You know, because like I said earlier, he's playing against players that he will have played against. So he might have a little bit of confidence from that. You never know. I hope he is. I think he's class, isn't he, Sancho? But so are all the other players. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Be interesting.
We'll go on to our prediction then. So I'll go mine first. I'm going England 1, Germany 0, keeping the clean sheets rolling. And I think Foden, Jordan, starting, mate. I think Foden's going to score. I think it'll be a close game, but I don't think it'll be free flowing and attacking like the World Cup one a few years ago, where there was goal after goal. I think he finished 4-1 to Germany. You know, excitement. I don't see it because for both these teams playing, they know if they win this, Sweden, Ukraine next. That's a pretty good draw, and then Denmark or Czech Republic, and you in the final. I think both of these teams know what an opportunity to get to a final and win the tournament. Because big teams will go out the other side of the group. I wouldn't be surprised to see Spain get knocked out tomorrow against Croatia. I wouldn't. And Switzerland not going to be easy for France either, because France haven't been playing that well. So that's my prediction. Jordan, we'll go yours next. What are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 England and Kane to get his first goal of the tournament. I think he'll come good. I think it will come good in the occasion against Germany. Shows a lot of fight, so I think it's his time to get a goal and stamp his mark on the tournament. And Sterling, because he's scored twice already on it, so I think he's the man to get another.
And then George, finally, you've gone with?
I've gone for England 1, Germany 0. Kane to get his first goal. I think it's going to be a penalty. I think it's going to be like one of those games where I feel like Germany will probably have most of the possession, most of the chances, and we're just going to sort of flip the game on its head, grab a goal, and see it out. It's going to be a nerve-wracking game either way. I think if it ends up being like that.
Who's winning the penalty?
I think you know. I'm not even going to say his name. We all know who.
Who?
Jack Grealish.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I mean, he got the assist, didn't you, for Sterling? Yeah, but you have to, don't you?
Stop giving me grief.
Yeah, that's really out of order, that is, Jordan. You're a lovely lad. That's shocking behaviour. So that wraps up the preview. Hopefully, this isn't the last preview we'll be doing. We'll be doing a preview for either Sweden or Ukraine and continue all the way. But this is the biggest obstacle England will face until the final. Thanks to Jordan for joining us. And as always, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.